We've got something a bit different today.
I went, we're going to Tottenham. We're filming this. We're getting this done. There were bits that said no entry. I was like, no, we have to get that shot. Yeah, so that's...
No, relax. Formz, we're going to ask you to construct your Premier League 11.
Whoa.
Remember how the Champions League song goes? I can remind you if not. Maybe Josh could sing it.
Describe losing the Champions League final. How does that feel, man? Describe that part.
I did not expect to get absolutely destroyed this early. I won't lie, boys.
This is too much for me right now.
Maybe England versus Canada in Doha, Qatar in 2022.
Do I want us to win it? Yes. That's the difference between a title-winning team and a top four challenging team.
No.
No.
Listen,
No.
And for that reason, I'm out. You're not performing. Get out.
Gone for a very creative name. It's called the No Name Lyrics Game. We got him! We got him!
Oh, I thought
Oh, come
I thought you.
on.
I thought you
Stop
had this.
it.
When Arsenal won, I was on a date. Cancelled the date, went home.
Oh my god.
Manager's probably going to kill me for saying this, but...
Hello and welcome to another episode of TFF The Footy Forum, and we are going with a +1 today. As you can see, we've got new member Daniel with us today, the usual Jovan Novakovic, and we've got a special guest. We've got something a bit different today. We haven't got someone directly into the football world, but we've got an artist who has a lot to do with football, and his name is Formz.
He was born to play for Spurs.
I love Chris Rich.
Somebody pinch me, I'm dreaming. Still not sure if I believe it. But Bale's back at Tottenham, I can't even describe the feeling. It's the perfect present. The direction we're headed is heaven. Name me a better signing this summer than Tottenham's number 11.
Welcome, Formz.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Formz is obviously doing quite well in the music game, with his music hitting, 5-figure levels, heading for 6 figures, and TikTok over 300k followers. That's big. Instagram's blowing up. So we really appreciate you coming on today.
All good.
Just to touch on a little bit, before we get into it, just
Okay.
talk on a little bit of the negatives. Obviously, the reason why he's coming on today and not a few months ago is because Morgan had to convince us that a Spurs fan could be on this TFF. So that's the negative.
I think that you waited for us to fall off of the top spot. Otherwise, anything that you throw at me would have just been thrown straight back in your face. But now I think we're sitting in fifth.
You still got some ammo, man. You still got some.
I just feel
hell
like
ample ammo.
Arsenal fans can't really say anything to Spurs fans at the moment.
Oh,
You
we
just can't.
can. We can say a lot. I've got some. I think I can say I've got a pretty good argument.
Go on, hit
I
me.
reckon
Hit me. Let's start this. Let's start this
Come on,
off.
Daniel. Share
I
with us.
would argue the FA Cups is quite a sort of, and the trophies is a rather big a factor.
Lucky. You got
Not
lucky.
when you're sitting where Arsenal are sitting in the table.
Look, I
This
think-
is one season, mate.
Exactly.
Look, it's
It's the
without a
present
doubt.
season.
Without a doubt, I'm jealous of your trophy haul in the last 10 years. However, if we're talking head to head, there's no debate. There's no debate. You're scared to play us. Not only are you scared to come to us, you're now scared when we come to you, which, as a Spurs fan, is fantastic.
I just want to add as well, just to clarify, I am pretty neutral in this situation, but
No. Morgan's a leading Spurs fan. Leading Spurs fan for sure.
Agreed.
but let me just ask this: in terms of Europe, in the last 10 years, what have Arsenal done in the last kind of 5-10 years?
Europe's the weak argument. That's what I can't.
But isn't Europe the measurement of success? Well, then again, you need to be successful in the Premier League
They're
first.
slipping. They're sliding. It's in. Lucas Moura with the hat-trick
Tottenham
goal.
did not win that final.
We didn't, but we got there. When was the last time you got there?
Oh, yeah.
How many times?
Do you remember how the Champions League song goes? I can remind you if not. Maybe Josh could sing it. The champion.
This is an absolute destruction.
Up until this season, you forgot the match of the day theme tune, so I wouldn't even go there.
I did not
Wow.
expect to get absolutely destroyed this early. I won't lie, boys.
Come on.
Yeah, we haven't even got to the icebreaker questions.
Oh my god, we have not.
I've got to tell you, I'm enjoying myself a lot.
Lovely. So yeah, we're going to get into plenty of these discussions. But some icebreaker questions, because I'm hoping many of your fans and followers have hopped on to come watch this. But for those of you who haven't seen Formz before, haven't seen TFF before, we'll do some icebreakers just so they know who we're working with today. So Formz, off we go. So how old are you?
It's a bit personal. I don't feel like I should be answering these questions on the
I
internet.
have nothing to say. Nothing to say. Who is that?
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
You got it. You got it.
No, I'm 21 years young, baby.
21 years old. Okay. How tall are you?
6'3".
Yeah, there's no way.
Are you setting me a dating profile up or something? You're about to ask me what my interests
Yeah.
are, what
Yeah,
my
I'm
ideal
just
date
on-
would be.
Yeah, just on Hinge right now.
Sweet.
Right. So give a shower thought you've had recently. I'm joking. Okay. Who?
They all involve you.
Well, this is for people that can actually play football. This is who do you play for? So that's not going to be for you. Who do you support? I think I could guess based on how it's gone so far. But anyway.
I support the only team in North London, Tottenham Hotspur.
Don't.
Arsenal Football
Okay.
Club.
Well,
Oh.
Oh,
this is.
sorry,
I can see this
that's-
is going to get heated today.
that's
This
still
is going to
here.
get.
Arsenal
Arsenal is
Football
still
Club.
here.
Aren't they South London? And they decided to up and move to my end.
Now we're getting to history. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're in the south of the Premier League. I'll tell you that.
That's true. That's true.
So-
You were so excited with your win over Chelsea.
Some.
It was a win that took you to the almighty 14th.
But it wasn't about league position. It was about
3-0 against Chelsea.
It was about more than that.
But they can't beat.
The two
teams.
biggest. It was the two biggest clubs in London. Two biggest clubs in London playing
Exactly.
against each
Two
other,
biggest clubs in London facing off.
and we won 3-0. It's huge.
By biggest, you mean laziest and fattest players?
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Wow, I can see this is going to get heated today. I mean, I'm just doing some basic icebreakers. I'm not
I
trying
think
to
the biggest.
spark any debates here. This is too much for me right now. Okay, so next question. So am I right in guessing that you do this full time, Formz?
I do. This is me.
You
full-time.
do.
I don't
So-
have a real legal government name. It's just Formz now. When I wake up to when I go to sleep.
Okay, is that what your mum calls you?
Yeah, my mum, my dad, my grandma, the girlfriend.
Daughters?
Well, I don't know if I've got any of those.
Well, you'll find out soon enough. If
Not
you do.
yet. Not yet, man.
If you weren't a rapper, then what would you be doing now? If rap wasn't your career, where do you think your career may have taken you?
Really good question. Natural born salesman. Before music, I was selling everything from property to commercial property to recruitment to
Yeah.
other things. I'd probably sit behind a desk, hate my life, and sell some things.
Okay, you know what? We're going to put that to the test right now. So I'm new to football. I've never really seen football before,
Okay.
but I live in North London, so I'm thinking, Arsenal or Tottenham. Obviously, Arsenal, they're not doing well this season, but I'm looking at the long term here. Who's going to be like the better club? I might support Arsenal. I'm thinking maybe Tottenham. They're both kind of equal distance. So Formz. Question: why should I support Tottenham?
Look, if we're even putting an argument together as why you should support Tottenham over the other team that's currently residing in North London, they'll probably be in West London in a couple of years' time. You look at passion. If you are in England and you are supporting an English Premier League team, you want passion. You want to be able to go to games, albeit not this season. You want to be able to go to games. You want to be able to feel the atmosphere. You want to be able to resonate with the players. And you want to know that they're doing every single thing they can for you. And you want to feel like the fan base that you're part of is a family. I don't need to sell you on Tottenham's fan base and Tottenham's passion. I just need to put you off of Arsenal's. So if you've heard of AFTV,
Oh.
Go and give it a watch. And that is the perfect example of a fan base that hates their club. So if you're living in North London and you want an exciting team with a £1 billion stadium, with players who want to play for this badge right here, it's Tottenham all the way.
Hey, so but right before, Daniel, I'm going to pass it off to you. I just want to start by saying this. All that stuff is great. Passion, play for the shirt, the badge, this and that.
Yeah.
That's all great. But at the end of the day, in football, you win or lose. And in terms of in history, and in the last even 10, 15 years, you would say Arsenal has won more trophies, been a better club, finished above Spurs more. This passion is great. And I also don't think it's true. But anyways, it's for me more about winning. You want to cheer for a successful club or not? So Daniel,
that's a good point.
Hang on, before I just want to finish off what you've said and say that I would completely agree with your point if Morgan had asked me in 2002 which club he needs to support in terms of long term. Arsenal last 5 years, Tottenham last 5 years, woo.
Oh,
So if you want long term.
So to that up and down zigzag, how many trophies have you won in the last 4 years? No, let's even say a year or two.
Yeah.
A big fat zero.
How about us? In that, but we still, along that time, we still won an FA Cup. So
Yeah, you did. You did win an FA Cup. You did. However,
go on. Sorry.
No, hang on. No, go on, Daniel. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I disagree that Tottenham have been like that. I'd say it's more of like a that. I don't think you've done anything in. I'd say that argue the Champions League final potentially is like a bit of where you could say that, but like I can't see any evidence of in like the last 2 or 3 years where you've been going like that. It's not a steep increase for me, to be fair.
The Champions League final is the cream of the crop of club football.
The Champions League title. Yeah, the Champions League is not the final.
The winning it.
Not the final,
winning it.
Playing and watching the Champions League is the most exciting thing because you get to see the best clubs in the world play.
So describe losing the Champions League final. How does that feel then? Describe that part.
It's a gut-wrenching feeling, but tell me how your Champions League campaigns have gone the last 5 years. Because I can tell you in the last 4 years how ours have gone. I can't tell you how yours have though.
We've had better.
Anyway, you wanted to move it on to Daniel. Let's move it on to Daniel. Morgan, come over to the Lily White side of London.
Yeah, you all make good points. I think I'm gonna drive to Queensbury, go to the Hive, and follow Barnet. So that's my final decision. Keep it local. Okay, that was good. I like that. You know what, Formz? You're right. You are good at selling. I'll give you that. Okay. Right. So, favorite footballer, inspiration when it comes to football, Formz. Who's your favorite footballer? Past, present, maybe both if you'd like.
I know I'm about to get grunts and sighs here, but I'm saying this because this is a player who I watched play every single game whilst he was part of my club. Moussa Dembele was an inspiration in the midfield.
Surprising. That is a surprising choice.
You speak to players who played against Moussa Dembele and they tell you that he was impossible to defend against. He was impossible to run past. Okay, yeah, he let people dribble past him sometimes. And yes, he got stopped on occasion. He's not bloody Virgil van Dijk and he's not Cristiano Ronaldo. But the way that he was able to take a football from here and move it to here with 10 players in between was phenomenal. And he was just an engine that we still haven't replaced to this day. Moussa Dembele is definitely my answer to that.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like that. No, I like that.
Who are you expecting? You both look shocked.
I was going on.
I was going to say I expected Harry Kane. I'm not going to lie because a lot of Spurs fans just seem to idolise the hell out of him. I expected, but Moussa Dembele is surprisingly I actually rate that answer, to be fair, because it's like someone that you wouldn't have expected for you to. Honestly, I thought, but I sort of, now you said it, I do agree with you. I think Moussa Dembele was sort of like a player that maybe hasn't been replaced in your side for quite a long time. I agree with that. Yeah.
Definitely. That's where we struggled defensively. We needed someone to be able to, he did everything. We needed someone to be able to sit in front of the defence, and we were confident that they were going to protect the back four. And we needed someone who was going to pick the ball up in the midfield and take it forward. And I feel like this season we've got that in Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who can sit in front of the defence confidently. And we've got Tanguy and Ndombele who can pick it up and take it forward. We got Moussa Dembele in 2 players.
Yeah. We'll look more into that soon. I'm sure that'll be part of the conversation. I thought you were going to go Gareth Bale. That was especially with him coming back now and stuff. He was legend. I don't think he did wrong by leaving Spurs. Because, Spurs took the deal because of the money, and I think it was a good offer. So no hatred there. Obviously, he's come back to the club now. So yeah, that's what I thought. So good answer. Next, your favourite food?
Without a doubt. And call me boring. I love a margherita pizza. Don't want anything else on it. Just cheese, tomato, and Italian dough. Beautiful.
Yeah, you can't really go into that one. But from where though? From where? In London, in Spain, in Cuba?
I don't care.
Really?
I'm a fussy eater. And so margherita pizza is the only pizza I eat unless I'm drunk. I put fish fingers on my pizza, but we'll get into that another time. When I was in recruitment, I had one of my clients was an architect, and he was Italian, and his name was Giovanni. And he told me that wherever you go to try a new pizza, the best way to tell if it's a good quality pizza is to get a margherita, because if they got the basics right, then they're doing something right. And that is my excuse as to why I'm a fussy pizza consumer.
Giuseppe, thank Giuseppe, huh?
I think it was Giovanni.
Okay, Giovanni, that works too. That works too.
I guess the Italian makes it more authentic, that point of view. But do you find that, like, in your experience of margaritas, getting like a Domino's margarita versus getting like a margarita at like a proper, like, authentic Italian restaurant, there's a difference, or you can't tell too much?
Yeah, there's a massive difference. One of them makes me feel like I've gained 3 stone, and the other one, I leave the restaurant feeling, I'm really, really satisfied.
Wait, hold up. At Domino's, you don't just order a cheese pizza, you order a margarita pizza. Is that how it works?
They're the same thing.
No, but you would never go to Domino's in Canada or US and say, I want to order a margarita pizza. That never happens.
In all fairness, on the pizza takeaway websites, the word margarita is non-existent. It says cheese and tomato.
For sure.
But if you're calling them up, you say, "Wagwan babes, margarita, please," and they'll give you a cheese tomato pizza.
Yeah, I find that I think that's just a filthy North American thing to say cheese pizza.
Yeah,
that's what they say. Yeah, margarita. They don't know.
Yeah, but I'll say pizza garlic butter is the one. I will say that. Fair play, Jovan. Yeah, you guys, our Domino's garlic and herb is atrocious. They have their pizza place in Canada. They
creamy
have
garlic.
Creamy garlic, yeah. It's like this thick garlic butter thing. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Big up creamy garlic.
But I agree. You feel like you gain like 30 pounds after that. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. Domino's and beer. It's a rough night. That's a rough night for the insides. Okay, next, and let's try not be biased here, Formz, but who do you think will win the EPL this year?
It still is City Liverpool. And in terms of winning it, it's got to be one of those two, unless something drastic happens and Tottenham can take it. But that won't happen.
Yeah, I would take it one step further by saying that I think Liverpool and Man City both don't seem up to the same level that they have been last couple of years. But I don't see another team who are currently consistent enough to challenge them. You look at, like, obviously Spurs, they're doing well, but they've still shown sometimes that they're just not up for it. And they will just have a bad game here and there. And you look at Chelsea, you look at how they played against Arsenal. Like, that's just not good enough if you're a team trying to, compete for the title. So no team has shown enough consistency to challenge those two is how I would put that.
I agree. And on the Tottenham comment that you mentioned, I don't think it's a case of Tottenham are playing badly. It's a case of we sit behind the ball for 90 minutes, soak up all of this pressure while these teams try and attack us, and we defend it off really, really well for 85, 86 minutes, and then all of a sudden we let one in. And it was going to happen eventually. It's a numbers game. If they keep coming at us, we're going to let one in. And we score one and sit behind the ball against a team like Crystal Palace, against a team like, who the hell did we just play? It's nuts.
I think that is what you get with Jose, though. Unfortunately, like he is a great. I do regret saying this because I don't really like him as a guy, but like I think unfortunately, like as good of a manager he is, that is what you get with him. I think you get a guy that does like to. That is the way he plays. That is his managerial style. So I think
he likes to kill games off early and then sit behind the ball. Agreed, but we're sitting behind the ball after going 1-0 up in the Premier League. I mean, just look at the West Ham game. 3-0 up at half time. You can't get complacent with that in the Premier League.
Half time, try like 85 minutes.
Yeah, don't. I'm trying to soften the blow.
Wait. So let's hold there. Let's hold there. Daniel, right away. Would you have taken? I think we talked about this before, but would you have taken Jose? Because for me, I actually like Jose, and also like I honestly would have taken him, and I would rather him be on the right side of London, North London. But I mean, I want to hear both of your opinions. So first of all, Daniel, do you rate him? Would you have liked if he came to Arsenal? And also, Formz, do you back your manager? Do you see him being the manager in the next season potentially and take you to? Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say like I think it's a difficult one for me because I think, as I said, like when I back a manager, I want to back everything about him, not just like as I just said. No doubt he's a fantastic manager and he's won so much stuff. But I want to back the manager because I like everything about that manager, and I feel like there would have not been a genuine passion behind me backing Mourinho. Like a great coach, but I just don't like him as a person. Therefore, like,
what is it you don't like? You say as a person, what is it about his personality?
Just the way he carries his. He had quite a lot of beef with like Arsene Wenger and stuff, and just the way he talked about like the way he spoke about Liverpool like most recently. It's not a massively annoying thing, but just to me, I just don't like it. But
the word that's jumping out to me is attitude.
Yeah.
You don't like his attitude.
Maybe his character as a person. I mean,
yeah.
Have you watched the All for Nothing series?
I haven't.
No,
I haven't watched it personally. No.
You need to.
I can't bring myself to watch it. I can't. I can't. And that's really.
It's not that good. It's really not that good.
Not bad.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, let's flip it on the head.
Leeds series, though.
Let's flip. Oh, Leeds, man. Let's flip it on its head. What do you back Jose Formz? What's your thoughts on that?
Without a doubt, I don't think there is a manager more suitable for us currently.
Oh.
We need results. We need trophies. He's proven, and let's get him in. Let's get him cracking. There's one thing, as a Tottenham fan, and I watch every single Tottenham game, whether I go there or I watch it on the TV. I watch every single game without fail, so I see every 90 minutes of football that we play. So I see the players, I see their reaction to certain things. You see a major shift in their mentality since he's come in. He's instilled this, we have to go out and win every single game. There's no more, all right, we need a point, let's try and grind out a point. Wherever you go, whether it's the Hawthorns or it's Anfield, you go there for 3 points. And you see it when you watch a team play week in, week out under Pochettino near the end of Pochettino's reign compared to how we were playing at the start of this season. You notice it, and it's so obvious, the difference. And I think he's the missing piece. I back him all the way because of his past and because of what he's doing now and the way he carries himself. I think Tottenham being a smaller club 10 years ago than the big hitters now, even a smaller club 5 years ago, we have been screaming and crying out for that big personality in charge, and we finally got him. Yeah. So I don't think many fans will disagree with what I'm saying. I back him. I think he's the right manager for us, and only time will tell. I think he's got 2 years left on his contract, and I'm confident we're going to win a couple of trophies under him.
Wow.
Maybe a few Carabao Cups here and there, huh? Carabao Cups? Fancy that?
Look, I will take fifth in the Carabao Cup. I don't care.
Oh,
we need a trophy.
I would take that at this point too as an Arsenal fan for this season.
Yes, for this season.
You take top half of the table right now, mate.
Yeah, you take.
We'll be top half. We will.
Yeah, okay. I'm certain of that. I'm sorry.
I hope so. But no, going back to Jovan's point, you made a good point about, you don't necessarily want Mourinho to go to the other team in North London. But I would say this, that I feel that, both managers right now, Arsenal and Tottenham, fit what they're required. So Tottenham have been building up with Poch for years and years and years. And I think they're ready to make that big push. Right? They're like they call it in like NBA, they call it like a win now situation. Like they want to start winning things right now. Yeah. And as much as Arsenal fans demand that every single year, realistically, Arsenal are not at that point. They've not really, I feel like they've never fully recovered from their collapse with Wenger. They're yet to fully recover from that. And I think Arsenal are at a point where they still need to build a lot of things. There's still a lot of work that needs to go into that team. And I think Mikel Arteta is a much better suited manager for that, given that he's had, a decent amount of experience, but as the front runner or the stronger kind of position of being a full-on manager, he needs time to settle into that role. So I think it's a good fit for both managers right now, to be fair. Believe it or not, we are still working through the icebreaker questions.
Mad.
So, Formz, your dream holiday?
I'd be far. No, I'm kidding. I've never left Europe. I want to go somewhere that is not Europe. Like, I would love to go to tour South America. That's my dream holiday.
Okay. Let me rephrase the question then. You're making it difficult. So
don't ask me for one destination.
I say to you, Formz, in here I have a golden ticket. Now, in the golden ticket can be a ticket to any country you want outside of Europe, but one country only.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Well, I'd take the flight to Argentina and then I would book myself flights across South America.
So the answer is Argentina. Lovely.
Yeah,
okay.
Fine. Let's go Argentina.
So, lovely. Great country. Okay, next question. Who do you fancy for the Euros next summer?
Got back the boys.
But who do you actually fancy to win?
It's so
Obviously,
difficult.
We want England to win, but who's the front runners?
I know I'm dragging out these answers, but this one's a bloody difficult one because if you look at the Nations League games, it's so open. Belgium, France, Germany. The youngsters of Germany are doing bits. Spain.
For me, it's France, Belgium.
I disagree. I just think it's more open than that. I can't pin it down to two teams. It's everyone's in the mix from Holland to England, and yeah, I'm throwing us in there. Holland, England, Spain, France, Belgium, Germany. They're probably the front running six.
I think Holland's a really good shout, to be fair. I think Holland did bits in the Nations League and they look really good. They got some decent sort of youngsters coming through as well. Holland do look really good. I think that's
even Italy look all right.
Yeah, Italy. Yeah,
I wouldn't rule Italy out.
Yeah,
they're working their way. They've got a young squad. They're working their way back up the ranks, which is nice to see as a football fan.
Yeah. They're really starting. It's good. Okay, so. Next, final question of these icebreakers. So, COVID aside, if you were Prime Minister for a day, what law would you introduce? If you got a phone call, Bojo stepping down, Formz, we want you to step up. We've seen your rap videos and we think you'd be perfect as Prime Minister. The government follows you on TikTok. We love what you see. The Speaker loves it. We want you as Prime Minister. What would you do?
I'm trying to think of something that would benefit the whole of the UK rather than just getting rid of congestion charge in London. You're like giving me a look as if to say.
How about lowering the price
how about this?
of margarita pizzas?
Okay, that's all hearsay. How about this? Do you think, just as a person, that it's better to be in the EU or out of the EU? Now that's a relatively simple question.
No, it's not. I know you're not. I know you're not from here. How long have we got? No, look, if there was a law that I had to pass, and I was in charge, it would be the law of drinking at 17. I'd make 17 the legal age to drink.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I like that.
I back that. Weirdly, in Ontario, it's 19, like where Toronto is and stuff. It's so strange. I don't know why it's not. Because in Quebec, it's 18, but just Ontario, it's 19.
Backwards country.
But United States is 21, so we'll take it.
Yeah, fair.
You make a good point. Okay, so finally we come to the end of our icebreaker questions. That was very interesting, that's for sure.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, Formz, just tell us a little bit more about yourself, how you got into music. Just give us a bit more of a background now that we know a bit about you.
All right, sweet. So, I mean, I've always loved music, like whether it's in the car with my mum on the way to school in primary school, singing along to the charts, or going to a musical in the West End, or rapping along to some Biggie Smalls. Like, I've just loved music. I went to Tiny Temper's demonstration tour in 2014, and he came out to Love and Not a Fighter, and he came out and it was the first big concert I'd ever been to of a rapper. And my God, the way he controlled the crowd, the way he used the entire stage just to soak everything in, and the way that everyone, whether you were standing at the front or sitting in the gods at the back, were just going nuts for it, and they knew every single word throughout the entire thing. I looked at the guy that I was with. I was like, that's going to be me. Like, I want that to be me. And I just got this weird ass feeling. From then on, I was like, all right, I'm going to start to see if I can write some raps. They were horrific. I was, 15? They were horrific. I didn't show anyone. I kept writing, and then I got to about 16 years old, and I showed a couple of people, got laughed at. I was the white tragic boy trying to rap. Or what am I doing? It's absolutely ridiculous. And I was like, you know what? No, I enjoy it. Like, I want to get to that stage. And I'm writing until I started writing full songs rather than just like little pieces of rubbish. And I showed my first song to someone. His name's George, and he was like, that's terrible. I went back, wrote another one, showed it to him again. He was like, actually, that's not bad. I was like, finally, some recognition. And then it got to the point where this year, I've got loads of songs in the database, and people are like, why don't you just release them? I got furloughed from my job and I had the time to actually release music, started to do it, started to post freestyles online, built traction, built a fan base, and now we're here and we're growing.
Yeah,
good, man.
It's looking good.
So what was the job before that? So we know where the bounce came from.
What, the job that I was doing?
Yeah.
So I left school. I went into real estate. I was an estate agent. I mean, I was it for a year, and it was the worst thing ever. Absolutely hated it. I don't know if it was first job vibes or the environment was toxic, whatever it was, hated it. Moved on, went into recruitment, loved it. But again, I'd go home and I'd write some bars, and I'd love that even more. So 2 years later, left out, went into commercial property, and that was going really, really well. But they couldn't afford to keep me on because of coronavirus. No one needed an office, and thank God they let me go. Here we are.
It's safe to say you're enjoying what you're doing now more than the commercial real estate, mate.
Oh, I am, in the words of Hardy Caprio and One Ace, and living my best life.
Hey, love that.
That is a good story, to be honest. I know we're all poking fun, banter, what you call it, but it's a sick story, man. It's I think a lot of people will relate, and yeah, man. All the power to you. You're still early.
Yeah, and then to ask you a bit more about part of the reason why we got you on, and given that we are a football podcast after all, and this that we really liked your football TikToks.
Premier League match week 18. Somebody tell me what's happened to Leeds. Man City won 4-0 at home. John Stones in superhero mode. Big Sam with a big win at Molyneux. 2 pence, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Liverpool, Man United 0-0. Spurs 1 and Dombele with a finish that was ill. Chelsea win the West London derby. There's your mention. Chelsea fans who ask me, you only mention Chelsea when they lose. Well, there's 4 lines dedicated to the Blues. Leicester put 2 past Southampton. Top of the table getting nice and Crampton. I still don't know who's gonna win it. My money's on Man City to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously your TikTok's got a huge following, over 300k now, so it's been blowing up, and some of the most popular ones are about football, and I think it's something that's really cool, because obviously you see rappers rap about football, and we'll come back to that later in their songs, but you're doing something a bit different in terms of rapping about like a current event and actually just talking about, or updating people almost like news and football through the art of rap. So, I mean, how did the idea come about? Is there anything else you want to do with that?
I was stuck for ideas on content, like really stuck for ideas on content. And then I don't know what it was. I think it must have been the week that Spurs had beat United 6-1 at Old Trafford, and Liverpool got turned over 7-2, and there were loads of VAR wrong decisions that week. And I was like, there's so much that's happened. Can I rap about it? And I just put it together, posted it, and I think that video got like 800,000 views. And I was like, all right, I'm onto something here. Because people followed me for my freestyles. I'd said nothing about football in the past. They just liked me because of what I did. And then I think I jumped from like 150,000 followers, started doing the football freestyles, and within 2 weeks I was on 200,000 followers. I was like, all right, I'm really onto something here. People love them. Like, I'll post to, like, today, for example, I'm not going to post a football freestyle until tomorrow after all of this week's games have been done. But I posted a video today on TikTok, and about 100 of the comments were, where's the Premier League freestyle? We want the Premier League freestyle. Now people are so used to hearing it every week. And if they're only watching their team and they're like a small club supporter like Leeds and they only watch Leeds games and they want to hear about other results, they'll come and watch my videos and they'll get completely up to date in terms of what's going on.
Man, that's crazy. Like, honestly, just thinking about now, like, I didn't know that that this is recent, but I don't know that's that recent. So it's been the last few months that everything's kind of popped off, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I started. Hey, that was so good.
So
I've never heard a Canadian do that before. That's
it, man. Live.
You get used to it. It's pretty draining at first.
Morgan says it too.
Look at this.
Once Morgan steps down, it's once Morgan, because he's half Canadian, man. So once he leaves, steps down in the Canadian soil, he's saying "a" all the time. What is that?
There you go.
Oh my God. Okay, but yeah, man. So that's interesting that I look at it and say, the types of football fans now, they want everything faster and faster, and maybe the young football fans, they don't want to sit down and watch Match of the Day every night. Maybe they're not that used to that. So maybe the new thing is listen to a rap. Takes, I don't know how long it would be, a few less than a minute, no? Right?
Yeah, they're less than a minute. They're between 30 and 40 seconds, literally.
I also think, sorry, just to add something, I think why your things are so popular is just, I mean, I remember just literally you popped up on my For You page. Like, I'm scrolling through TikTok all the time, but like, it's so unique and it's so different. Like, no one else on the platform does it, and not even on any other socials as well. Like, it's like, it's quality how unique it is, and I think that's why so many people love it. And yeah, obviously it's good. Yeah,
appreciate that. And I'll be honest, the moment the first one got loads of views, I was like, maybe it's a blip, let's try it again. And then it was the Champions League like 3 days later. I was like, all right, let's do it for the Champions League. That got more. And then I got 900,000. I was like, okay, now I'm tapping into a European audience, because my analytics, the Premier League one was, I think 90% of the viewers were from the UK. And in the Champions League ones, only about 60% are from the UK, which is pretty cool. So
yeah,
because at the moment, it's more like I'm a TikToker who raps, and I don't want to fall under that category. I'm a rapper who's on TikTok.
Yes.
And so I sort of was thinking, I'm going to have to carry this on, because typically football fans and rap music, like, they coincide with each other. If you're a football fan and you're of a certain age, then you're into rap. So if I can tap into that market, get them used to me, and then say, hey guys, just released a song, they'll be like, oh my God, Formz just released a song. And then they'll absolutely flood it. And since I started doing the football stuff, my songs on Spotify and everything that I've released started going up as well, which is sick.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's sick, man.
That's huge. Yeah. And then so I want to ask you a bit about your music videos.
He was born to play for Spurs.
I love Chris Rich.
Somebody pinch me, I'm dreaming. Still not sure if I believe it. But Bale's back at Tottenham, I can't even describe the feeling.
So obviously Bale has, made his return to Spurs, and you thought the right way to celebrate was shoot a music video outside the lane. Yep. Not the lane now. What do you call it? Is it still the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
Look, we call it White Hart Lane, but its legal name is the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Is there plans to like change that? Because that's not really.
It was going to be called. It was going to be called the Nike Stadium as part of when we signed. Yeah, when we signed the hit deal with Nike. They tried. We were actually meant to have Nike, I think, the season earlier, but the reason it got delayed a season was because they were like in the contract, they wanted it to be called the Nike Stadium, and obviously we weren't having that, so it took them a whole year to decide. Okay, fine, we won't call it the Nike Stadium. We'll call it whatever you want. We'll just be the kit sponsor. And I think that it was also meant to be called the Uber Stadium or something like that.
Imagine.
Wow.
Yeah, Nike and Uber. And then I think Tottenham did loads of polls on Instagram and Twitter and all of that. And we went nuts. Call it White Hart Lane. Call it the new White Hart Lane.
No, why won't they call it that? Why would they call it the Tottenham Stadium, not White Hart Lane?
Because White Hart Lane was White Hart Lane. This isn't White
see.
Hart Lane. This is a huge commercial. It's one of the nicest stadiums I've been to in my life, but it's not White Hart Lane.
Right.
I went to the last game at White Hart Lane against United and the first game in the new stadium against Palace, and the atmosphere in both was unmatched. But there is nothing like, I'll say it, and you're gonna laugh, but there is nothing like a small club atmosphere or a medium.
Mate, you're talking to someone that's been to like Swindon away, Port Vale away, Cheltenham Town away.
True.
So like, I mean, I can relate. Away days are like my life. So believe me, I love that. But I mean, at the same time, if you're like, your club are making, the right timing in terms of that jump to like, competing on a European level, these are the kind of stadiums you're going to have and embrace. Yeah. And as you said, the atmosphere is still amazing. I mean, Ellen Road as well. We're not even like, we still got a big stadium, like 37.5, I think it is.
Yeah, which was bigger than the old White Hart Lane.
Yeah, it's a big stadium, but if we want to get to that next level of Premier League team that's pushing for Europe, we're going to have to expand even further, and we're excited about it. We're just trying to embrace it. Obviously, it's a bit different and they're going to probably knock down the most traditional stand to make it the two-tier stand, but at the same time, you've got to accept things move forward,
100%. Before we jump back onto the Gareth Bale thing, on what we're talking about at the moment, Everton have chosen the perfect time to have a manager like Carlo Ancelotti, because their stadium's going to be done in 2 years, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
So Ancelotti said in an interview the other day, he was like, I'm getting on. I don't need to hop from club to club to club. If Everton's my last club, so be it. Wow. So if he's here for the long term and he's here with the plan of getting them into Europe and winning them trophies, building a stadium like they're about to build, I think Everton in 5-6 years time are going to be one to watch.
Yeah. And they're trying to grow a brand as well. I think it's a big part of it. They're doing a good job. So
they are doing a very good job at Everton. I think they could, just on that note, I think they could genuinely have a good chance of Champions League this year. It's a bold statement. I think
it's so open. You're not.
It is really open. No, it is open. I agree.
Every single club, bar Arsenal and below, and I'm not even saying that as a dig because you're that far off, have got a chance at top 4. Like even Aston Villa wouldn't surprise me, because look at. I know, we're 14 games in, 15 games in, but there's 5 points that separate, 6 points that separate second and 13th or something like that. It's a joke.
Yeah. It's a topsy-turvy season is what me and Jovan call it.
Yeah, it's tough to predict.
Things just change so quickly. But I think the key to success this season, I mean, like, you think about consistency, trying to avoid those injuries, avoiding COVID disruptions, and just being able to get into a consistent form, I think is, it's that simple if you want to win this year. I just think consistency is the one this year if you really want to challenge. So whichever team can do that, I think, is in with a good shot. It could be Everton, it could be Leicester. It's not going to be Arsenal. Could be Chelsea. Could be Tottenham. Yeah. Liverpool and City, obviously, are front runners. So, I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting. But jumping back.
Say that, by the way, it hurts every time.
Yeah, Daniel, I can see you slowly just sinking in a chair.
I'm slowly sinking away. Yeah,
that's okay. He supports Leeds. He's a Leeds fan. He's in a relegation fight. He's actually in a relegation.
We're above you, so I'm just going to say that. And secondly, I'm very happy with how the season's going. So I'm over the moon right now.
I'm going to let you lower table teams hash it
out. Everyone. Problem is, Jovan tries to do this every episode. He tries to big up Leeds, this and that. And I'm saying everyone sets the bar too high for us because we're such a hyped up team. Because of Marcelo Bielsa, because how long we've been away, because of our history. Everyone bigs us up, and they set a bar that is a bit unfair, I think. We're still, as a newly promoted club, we're doing very well, but we just have much higher expectations than the average newly promoted club.
Yeah, true.
So sorry, the Gareth Bale video.
Yes.
What was it like filming a music video? Do you have plans to do more in the future? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was so fun. It was so fun.
How did it come about?
So I'm in a Tottenham WhatsApp group, and there's about 30 of us, and there's maybe 2 or 3 that get a little bit of inside info before the rest of us, because they're either big at Tottenham or they're this, that, the other. Anyway, so the Bale rumours came back, as they do every year, every transfer window. And at the start, we were like, yeah, whatever, all right, Bale's coming back. Well, hey. And then it started to get more realistic, and it was like, all right, well, if he's coming back, it's going to be this season, this transfer window, and if we miss this opportunity, he's never coming back. And then we started hearing more and more, and these boys were piping up in the group saying, lads, it's happening, like he's on his way to London, it's all been agreed, this, that, the other, 60-40 wage split, all of that. I was like, you know what, let's write a freestyle. I was like, let's write a freestyle, and I wrote it before it got announced. And I was like, all right, screw it. I'm going to pump money into it because I enjoy it. And if it's like I'm spending money on things that I enjoy, it's like someone who enjoys going to Dubai spends money on going to Dubai. For me, it's making music. Literally wrote it where I'm sitting right now. Got the most unbelievable beat, recorded it over there, and was like, all right, need a video. Can't just release the audio. This needs to be sick. Called my cameraman friend. His name's Ross. I went, we're going to Tottenham. We're filming this. We're getting this done. He went, all right, fine. I pretty much directed the whole thing. We recorded the freestyle about 6 times in 6 different locations around the stadium. We broke into some bits of the stadium. Like there were bits that said no entry. I was like, no, we have to get that shot. So jumped in 6 times in 6 different locations, wearing 3 different shirts, I think, or something like that. It was really fun because there were loads of Tottenham fans that were sort of trotting up and down, and people driving past that were seeing it going on. And I was playing it through the speaker as I was rapping along to it. And it was just a really, really sick day out. Went home, spent, I think, from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. the next day editing it. And as we were driving home from filming the video, Bale got announced. And It was just this huge sigh of relief, like, thank God we didn't just waste an entire day.
I said it was a fun day out anyway, so...
Oh yeah, it was so fun. Like just because of coronavirus, I hadn't been to the stadium in 6 months. It was just nice to be there, and yeah, so that was fun. Plans on filming other videos. Yeah, 2021. We're planning on at minimum a song a month, and the first 6 months, I think it's whatever 2 songs are the most popular, we'll get a video for to release in the summer.
Sounds like a fair plan.
But yeah. My stories drag on. Do I take too long with my story?
No, mate, we're loving it. So, as you were saying, you hadn't, before you shot the video, you hadn't been to the stadium for 6 months because of this little thing I'm sure we're aware of called COVID-19, aka coronavirus. So, I mean, the question really, and this can be an open discussion maybe as well, Daniel wants to chime in, but I mean, as a fan, how much has it sucked? I mean, not being able to go to stadiums. I mean, for me personally, like, remember Leeds got promoted and I couldn't even go watch it. I went to see them a ton last season. Then when it came to the last kind of 10 games securing promotion, I couldn't, witness it with my own eyes. And obviously 16 years I was waiting. So for me, it's really sucked. But I mean, for you as a Spurs fan, I mean, do you want to comment a bit on that?
I mean, of course it sucked. Just before I answer that, though, I know you said that you got promoted and you couldn't even go and actually celebrate the promotion. I was, speaking of not being able to celebrate things, and usually I'd watch certain games with certain types of people. The FA Cup final with Arsenal and Chelsea, I didn't want either of them to win. So I would have been gutted either way. And then when Arsenal won, I was on a date, cancelled the date, went home.
Oh,
I was gutted. I ended the day.
Wow, you have a strong hatred for Arsenal
and Chelsea.
Is it a strong hatred, or did you just realize she was ugly? Like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Maybe she wasn't exactly. She didn't fancy it. She was proper.
Yeah, okay. But went home. Went home. I couldn't. There was everything she said to me was going in one ear and straight out the other because the only thing in my head was no.
Oh,
But
so
anyway,
you showed up and left.
Well, I showed up. We went walking, and then we sat a blanket out, and we were going to go and get pizza and bring it back to the blanket. And
Which kind of pizza? Margarita?
we didn't. Yeah, margarita.
Oh, cheese pizza.
A cheese pizza. A cheese pizza. Eh? Yeah. So that was that. But yeah, coronavirus sucks. Like I think I go to more away games than I do home games. I love an away game.
Away days are the one, mate.
I miss it so much. Like even taking like a 5-hour drive up to bloody Burnley to watch us draw 1-1. Like I'll do it because it's an away day. I miss it.
Yeah,
I miss it.
It's about the day, you know. It's about the start to finish that makes it. You know, it's not just this 90 minutes.
And for Christmas, I got a big like puffer coat for Christmas with the Spurs thing on it. And it's perfect. I got it. I opened it. The first thing I said, "Oh, it's perfect for away day."
Oh.
Can't bloody wear it for a while.
Yeah, there's gonna be time. I mean, there's a couple lucky fans who got to go. I know, mate, that got to go to Arsenal. Obviously, a couple went, snuck to a Spurs game. I think Chelsea got a game as well. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a while. Things are really bad here, Jovan, at the moment. Really bad. I mean, you're on the lockdown as well. So.
COVID-20. Yeah.
But okay, we're going to do something quite fun now. I think will be quite fun. So we've talked a bit about the Premier League this season. Topsy-turvy. It's been difficult, but we want to kind of zoom in a bit, not just look at teams, but look at players. Formz, we're going to ask you to construct your Premier League 11.
Whoa.
What, of all time?
No, relax. current Premier League 11.
Because look, if it was all time and I didn't put Thierry Henry in there, there'd be some arguments in this.
You wouldn't make out of here live, and it's a video call, so that says something. So I mean, we'll work our way through. You know what? I'll let you pick the formation. Give me a formation, and we'll go with it.
I think you got to go 4-3-3. Most generic, easiest to put players in.
Fairs, yeah. I mean, you get pretty happy when a 4-3-3
either that or a 4-2-3-1. At which point, I'd put exactly the same players as I'd put a 4-3-3.
Yeah, it's about right. So let's go 4-3-3. So I think it's just best to start like goalkeeper, right back to left back, 3 midfielders, and then however you want to do the top 3. So, Formz, floor is yours, and then we'll kind of comment and debate afterwards and give our views following.
Okay. Hugo Lloris.
And reasons, please.
Hugo Lloris. But listen to me. Hugo Lloris in goal this season, because the goals that we've conceded, albeit we haven't conceded many, the goals that we have conceded have come from other players' individual mistakes, not the goalkeepers. I think we've conceded 4 pens, and penalties are lottery. You're not a good keeper if you miss or you save pen. Conceded 4 from pens. We've conceded, I think, 5 from corners, which you can't blame a keeper when a team when a team scores from corners. It's defenders. Where's your marking? Clear the ball. He's made some ridiculous saves, some game-changing saves. He's probably been the most consistent keeper this season. Obviously, you've had Alisson, who's been injured. Edison hasn't really been as good as he was this last season, 2 seasons ago. Mendy, came in, kept however many clean sheets, but the past couple of games, look at him. He's conceding goals like Kepa. I just think if we're talking consistent goalkeepers at a top level and a leader on the pitch, Hugo Lloris is my number 1 spot.
Hi, Formz.
And that's not even biased because I'm not going to put that many Tottenham players in the 11.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll let you run through it and then we'll analyse after. So, goalkeeper Lloris. Now let's go to the right back.
See, typically you'd want me to say Trent, but not this season. I think this season Trent's been one of the best, but there's others who have been probably the same level. But then again, I can't really give compelling arguments for anyone else. So
Is Reece James in the
I see
conversation?
this is the only other option I've got is Reece James. But then you look at, I mean, I'm trying to think of individual performances against team performances, and Reece James is definitely up there.
Kyle
But
Walker's been pretty solid. He's getting old, but he's pretty solid this season.
is Tarek Lamptey a right back or a left back?
Right back. That would be... I don't know if I'd say he's the best in the league. He has potential. He's shown a lot of potential. I don't think he's there yet. When you
No,
look
you
at
know
the
what?
likes of Reece James and Arnold.
I'm gonna go with Trent. I'm gonna go with Trent only, but the reason being, I can't think of why anyone else should be in there above him. And that's my
Fair.
only reason. He's sick. He's ridiculously good. You put it across 9 times out of 10, it's hitting someone's head, a Liverpool player's head. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Trent.
Okay, two centre backs.
Oh, it's bloody hard. There's actually been quite a few. I mean, Phil, with centre halves, feel free to throw your own ideas in and let's bounce off each other for this. Who are you guys thinking?
Centre backs.
See, this is if we did and he was fit throughout this season, I'd say straight away Van Dijk. He's played 5 games.
Well, let's say this. Let's say injuries aside, the current top Premier League 11.
Van
So
Dijk's got to go in there.
current, but ignoring injuries. So like before they were injured, I think is fair. So you put Van Dijk in there.
Fine. So you got Van Dijk in there and you got Eric Dyer.
Don't make me laugh.
You got Van Dijk in there without a doubt. Fine. If we're thinking currently rather than just like the past 14 games of this season alone.
Ruben Diaz?
No.
I was going to say him. I think he looks quality from the...
Solid. He can distribute as well.
I prefer Laporte.
Yeah.
I
Laporte is a
prefer
good player.
Laporte to the point where I'm actually going to put those two in. I'm going to put Van Dijk and Laporte because I don't think Diaz has done more than Laporte for me.
Okay. And then your left back?
Sergio Reguilon.
Really? It's best in the Prem?
No, because look, name me your top 3 left backs in the Premier League, and I will tell you a reason as to why I think Reguilon over them.
I'm throwing Kieran Tierney in there. I'm just saying I'm throwing Kieran Tierney
Okay,
in there.
fine. There's been an argument this season throughout of who's better, Tierney or Reguilon. Any other season before we signed Reguilon, if you were comparing a Tottenham to Arsenal starting 11, I would back Tierney all the way. I think he's sick. I think he's very, very, very good. I think in a team where, like Tottenham, where we have the defensive power in Alderweireld, Dyer and Højbjerg to sit back and let our fullbacks run forward. In an attacking sense, I don't trust... Okay, Andy Robertson, fine, but I think he's fallen off a little bit this season, and I'll explain why in a bit. But in an attacking sense, I don't see a more screwed-on left-back than Reguilon.
I would argue that Tierney's insane. I think he's probably one of the better attacking fullbacks.
And then, fine, when it's head-to-head attacking, I'd say it's relatively even for different reasons.
Okay, yeah.
And then you look at defence. I'm going to just throw in... I think Reguilon's played the majority of our Premier League games this season. And then when you compare the defensive record of Arsenal and Spurs this season, defensively, you've got to say that it's Tottenham's back four that's been on it more than Arsenal's back four. And for that reason... I feel like a shark on Shark Tank, and for that reason, I'm out. And for that reason, I'm putting Reguilon in there. Robertson, though, by the way, who any other day I'd put in like that. Every single Liverpool game that I've watched this season, he's looked like he's playing drunk. I don't know what's wrong with him. Don't get me wrong. Again, like Trent, his cross is unreal, but he's making more mistakes this season than I've ever seen him make. He loses the ball. He misplaces passes. This season, I would not put Robbo there. I'd put Reguilon there.
Let me say this to that point, that I think with Robertson, I think he's still playing quite well, but what he's doing is he's making mistakes at crucial times, and I think people are picking up on it. Whether it's a defensive mistake or whether it's like kind of they're pushing for a goal, and I've seen him multiple times now. 90th plus minute, he'll whip in a cross that's just gone way over or goes out of play.
Yeah,
these are little things
That's the
in
difference.
those moments.
But Liverpool know that, and Klopp know that as well. That's the difference between a title-winning team and a top four challenging team. But at the same time, they are playing. Liverpool as a team are playing with a lot more caution because they can't afford another big injury.
Yeah,
They lose one of their front three, as well as I think Jota's injured for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
If they lose another one of their front three, I don't think any Premier League defence would be worried playing Liverpool.
No.
Their midfield's a joke, but I think, so my back four would be Trent, Van Dijk, Laporte, and Reguilon.
Okay. And then your three centre mids, any order?
I mean, without a doubt, I'll explain every one of them, but I've got my three, and that is Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
No, I knew you were going to say those first two. I thought you were going to say Ndombele, but
I thought you were going to say Ndombele as well. I'm not going to lie.
2 weeks ago, I saw a stat, and it was 75% of Tottenham's goals this season have come from a Højbjerg interception, pass, or tackle. 75% of Tottenham's goals have come from a Højbjerg action, which we have been missing a play like that for so long.
Yeah, but I think if you descramble that stat, it might not have as much value as you think, because a Højbjerg pass, like that could have just been a pass out wide, and then something else goes and gets created.
Yeah,
so the pass still needs to be made. But we were at one point the highest scoring team in Europe. And if you think of being the highest scoring team in Europe and 3/4 of your goals coming from an action of one player, like
what does that mean?
Scoring team in Europe with the way you play, I have no idea. That's just shocking.
We were at one point with Son banging in a goal every game and Kane banging in a goal every game.
Yeah, Jovan, what were you going to say?
But what do you mean by action? Like, until when can you say that it's his action that inspired the goal?
It was the stat was 75% of our goals came from a Højbjerg pass, tackle, or interception.
So the interception thing, I think the tackle I could take a lot out of, obviously. But I mean, if we're talking about, a ball that he's just playing in 10 passes before the goal.
Fine. Look, if even if you eradicate that stat, I think that we have never looked more comfortable defending with him on the pitch. I think he has come in. He's been our signing of the season. Forget everyone else. Forget your Bales. Forget your Joe Harts. He's been our signing of the season by.
Firstly, I'd want to see what that percentage is like when you take out the word passing.
Yeah.
And secondly, there's too many players who, Kante. For me, Calvin Phillips. I know it's biased, but when you look at what he does for Leeds.
Fine. Okay. Fine. Well, look, I guess I'm looking at the effect that it's having on one team, and Morgan, you're right. You look at Kante, look what he does for Chelsea. You look at Calvin Phillips, look what he does for Leeds. Fine. In that case, I will swap him out for Ndombele because he's bloody ridiculous.
He's always had that potential. I think he's just starting to find his feet. It took him a while to really get comfortable. He started to find his feet. He started to find his feet at the start of the season. I think he's possibly been one of our best players this season, without a doubt. Look, if you take Son and Kane out of the equation, and Ndombele and Højbjerg have been our best players this season, and if all three of you have given me a decent enough argument to take Pierre out, I'm put Tanguy in. So I'm putting Tanguy in. I think we can.
You can put another guy a Pierre in. You can put another Pierre in your next round.
You can't. You can't. You fully.
Not this season.
You can't.
Not this season.
Last season, maybe. Last season, that's a discussion. This season,
he signed a thing and then went off and did whatever. But yeah, no, fine. So I'll slap Ndombele in there, and then the other two players speak for themselves. Bruno Fernandes scores and assists.
You can't argue with
every
that.
game at the moment, and De Bruyne is one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
So there's no discussion on it.
Yeah, for me, you put Kante in there, but that's just my opinion.
And then we bring it to the front three. And you'd be stupid.
For once, I feel like you have a justified answer here.
Yeah, you'd be stupid not to put Sonny on the left. You'd be stupid not to put Harry Kane up front. and you'd be stupid.
No.
No.
Listen,
No.
Listen,
No.
let me name the top three, and then we can talk.
Okay.
My front.
Your third player better not be a Spurs player.
No, it's Salah.
Okay, I was going to say, because I thought you were going to say no. I was like, okay, Son we have a debate, but you can't throw someone else in there. It's just wasting our time.
Can I just say,
Precious time.
let's start with Salah, because he's not Tottenham, and there's less to talk about. He's world class, without a doubt. Liverpool would be. I don't think Liverpool would be anywhere near Liverpool standard without Salah. I think he's exceptional. I hate him as a person and an anti-Semitic player, but I think he's world bloody class, and he's one of the best right wingers in the world. So that's why I'm slapping him there, and I don't think anyone can disagree with me. Left wing, Sonny, again, world class. He's proving it. He's proving it this season. He's, I think, the second top scorer. He's got loads of assists. I'll be honest though, past couple of games, Son's gone a little bit missing. I don't know if any of you have seen Tottenham's past couple of games, but it's gone a little bit missing. And the past 2 games in a row, we've taken Son off, and within 5 minutes we've conceded. I don't know if that means anything, but Son is and has been pivotal to Tottenham's attack and providing Harry Kane with the goals. And now we move on to the top man. I said Harry Kane. All 3 of you went, no. So
No, it wasn't. I said no because I thought you were going to say Harry Kane, Son, and your face made it look like you were lining up a third Tottenham player, and I'm thinking Kane, yes, Son, no. We're going to have to debate, and if you bring up a third player, then it's just too much, Josh.
Look, just on that, Lucas Moura hasn't played enough games. Gareth Bale doesn't play in the Premier League, and he pants in the Europa League. Steven Bergwijn's played 10 games, assisted 0, scored 0. Wow. And Eric Lamela's been injured for the majority of the season.
Now you've brought it up. Why isn't, A, what's going on with Bale, and B, why do you think he's not getting, a lot of game time?
So, the first, I think, it took him a long time to get to a level of match fitness where he could at least play 45 minutes. And everyone expected him to come on after not playing a game for an entire 9 months, to come on and be the dazzling sensation that he was 7 years ago at Tottenham. He wasn't. He had an absolute sitter to make it 4-0 against West Ham or 4-1 against West Ham.
Oh my
Missed
God.
it. Missed it. You don't win 4 Champions Leagues and a shit ton of trophies at one of the best clubs in history of football and then stand in front of goal against West Ham and miss.
Wasn't it 3-1 or 3-2 at the time?
It was 3-1 at the time, I think.
Yeah.
But look, he just and because of his fitness, he hasn't played enough games one after the other. And a player of Bale's class gets better and better as he plays more consistently. And he just hasn't. So he hasn't been able to he hasn't had enough game time to be able to do what he needs to do. He's played loads of Europa League minutes, but playing against teams in our group doesn't compare to playing in the Premier League. And that's why he's not up to scratch yet. I'm hoping... Jose actually confirmed in a press conference today that he's out for the next 2 weeks, which I don't know what's wrong, but I'm hoping come February, March, April and May, he finishes the season strongly. And then, his loan's up at the end of the year. So if he doesn't have a good second half of the season, Jose is not the type of manager to go, but it's Gareth Bale, let's keep him. You're not performing, get out. He wants to get rid of Davinson Sanchez, which I agree with, but I think that Sanchez is 22 and he needs more time. Jose doesn't see it like that. But yeah, onto the final player, which is Harry Kane. The man's bloody world class. He scores goals. He assists goals. You can play him. You can literally play him at number 8 and he will score you goals. He's
I can't see it.
The 2 things that have taken him from being in question to be one of the best strikers in Premier League history to, all right, he's a serious bloody contender, is the fact that he's added vision and passing to his game.
Yeah,
he's
the best thing since Wayne Rooney, I think.
I agree. Without a doubt. He's no longer let's see if we can get the ball to Kane when he's in some space, let him shoot, he's going to score. It's now Kane will be anywhere on the pitch, will look for a play. He's bloody Harry De Bruyne. He's Harry the bloody Bruyne. That's what he is. He is by far, this season, I would say by far top 3 players in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think what's been good about Kane is that obviously he had a kind of a gradual rise over a couple of years when he became a lethal goal scorer, but he's maintained that ability as a lethal goal scorer and added, as you said, passing and vision and awareness, defensive work rate as well. These things he's added to his game.
The defensive work rate is credit to Jose, who is a defensive-minded manager, and Jose Mourinho. Whether Harry Kane is a one-club man, he stays here forever, or he goes off to a Barcelona or a Bayern Munich or whoever, Jose Mourinho will have been the best thing to happen to Harry Kane ever, because he's added an extra level of class to his game. He's not just a striker anymore. He's not just a goal scorer. He's an out-and-out striker and a proper team player and a leader.
Yeah.
3 lines.
Okay, I back that. So,
too many Tottenham players in there, but I think you can't really. You can't. I mean, at the end of the day, you justified most of your players. So
my argument to too many Tottenham players is that Tottenham are the team that I watch the most. So they're the players that I see.
So
the
it's
most.
about
The only thing I disagree with your team, just to go back, is the regular on left back. I personally put Tierney in there. I think that.
Of course you would.
Of course I would.
But the thing, can you see what I'm saying? You watch Tierney more than I watch regular.
Yeah.
So you've got a much better argument for Tierney. I've seen Tierney play 3 times maximum this season.
That's the thing, and that's why I wouldn't necessarily have an argument for someone like Ndombele, because I don't watch Ndombele at all, because I don't watch Spurs.
Exactly.
No, I understand. I just think the way that I'm not going purely even based on football ability. I think the way that Tierney plays for the shirt, even he's only been at Arsenal like a couple of years now, but I think that the way he carries himself on the pitch, like he's literally been one of the only leaders that we've had this season. Him and Saka have been like the 2 standout players. Like
Tierney's a passion player. Tierney can play for any club in the world and play for the badge on the shirt.
Oh, I agree, 100%. Yeah.
And I think if your squad, which at the moment needs a major reboot and uplift, you're right. I think if there are 2 players that stand out and would stay there, it's your left-sided players. It's Tierney.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I don't want to move on too fast, but I know for me this is something that I want to ask all of you. This is not just for Formzy, but we talked a little bit about England, and you put them in the chat for Euro next year. What do you think about Gareth Southgate? Now, this is again not just to you. This is to the whole group of Englishmen here.
Yeah.
Do you think he's the guy? What's your thoughts on him? Yeah.
He did something for the country that not many men can say that they've done. He restored our faith in the England squad. He took us to a World Cup semi-final. Bloody Croatia. He took us to a World Cup semi-final. He fully restored the entire nation's confidence in the national team, which is an incredible thing to do. But I also think that we have been blindsided by the passion and blindsided by the sentiment of getting to a World Cup semi-final. And this is what happened with Poch at Spurs. Sorry to keep relating it to Spurs, but I think we lost 13, 14 league games the season we got to the Champions League final, but that was completely overlooked by the sentiment that he'd taken us somewhere that we'd never been before. And that's the same with Southgate. The friendly games, the games in the Nations League, even against Iceland and Denmark, games that should have been won easily and weren't, are times and results that make you question a manager. I think that he's great at inspiring the young boys, and he's great at encouraging the leaders and the veterans in the squad to also encourage the young boys. But I don't think he's got it in him to take us to whether, even if it's take us to a Nations League trophy or take us to silverware.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got that in him. I think we have the quality in us, and I think in the next year or two, if youngsters like Foden and Greenwood play better and they keep improving, we'll have the quality to win silverware. But Gareth Southgate's not the manager to do it for me.
I want to hear from both Daniel and Morgan. But to that, who does have the quality to win things? Like, is there an English manager that can do it? Or...
When it comes to English managers, I don't know, because the majority of the English managers, it's annoying because as an Englishman, you want to see You want to see English players do well, like Jadon Sancho's doing bits out in Germany. You want to see English managers do that as well. But for some reason, English managers are only considered for the Premier League. And yeah, whatever, Gary Neville went off and did his thing and flopped. David Moyes went off and did his thing but flopped. But I'm talking English managers.
Yeah.
You look at even Tony Pulis in his prime, Big Sam in his prime. You look at managers like that who, in their prime, probably could have done something in Italy or in Spain, but they didn't because foreign clubs don't look at English managers like that. And now they're being brought in to save teams from relegation. So they haven't been brought to that level. So now I wouldn't trust a single English manager to take England to a title. Bring back Fabio Capello.
See, okay, I'll let Daniel go first because I have quite a different point of view to Josh. So,
I think that I agree with you. I think that we've been so blindsided by like the semi-final run and that World Cup because it was amazing. Like at the end of the day, no one can deny that.
Yeah.
What happened that summer was like unforgettable. Like no one will ever forget what happened. But I agree with you. I think it does. In my personal viewpoint, I always like to see English managers take the England job. I think it makes so much more sense. I feel like, like you could have like a Fabio Capello or a foreign manager, but how much nicer would it be to see like an English manager win it with England, you know? I mean, this is a risky point to say, but like maybe a couple of years ago, I would have thrown maybe Eddie Howe's name in the mix. I did like what he was doing at Bournemouth up until very recently. And I would have thrown his name into the mix to be considered, but what he did with Bournemouth towards the end of his career there wasn't exactly positive. So and I agree with you again. Like I can't see any English manager at the moment that could take that. So
annoying. It is annoying because you're right.
It's frustrating.
Be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I think it's good points. For me, England. I think Gareth Southgate, obviously, I think it was quite refreshing. Josh obviously says bringing international managers, but I think there was something refreshing about we'd had Capello and, quite a few managers in and out over the years, last kind of decade. So I think it was refreshing to have an English manager do well with the English team.
Yeah.
And I think it was something refreshing to see. But as you said, I think managing England's a really difficult job because somewhere that England differs to most other leagues to a greater degree is you have much more domestic players playing in a domestic league. In the other big five leagues, there's still a big amount of them, but there's less of the big stars for that country or kind of the national team players still playing in that league. It's more kind of standard for players to go abroad to, Germany, France. You always have French players playing in Spain, German players playing in Italy, Italian players playing in Spain, But England, more recently, Jadon Sancho, Jude Bellingham, we're seeing, that's just them going to one team. But there's more players going abroad. Trippier, Mudiaki, I think, has gone abroad. And so there's a lot of players making that move. But still, generally speaking, it's much more frequent that you see the England national team players playing in the Premier League. So I think that makes the job harder because you're not just taking people who are, friends when they don't necessarily compete, but then when they come play their friends, you've got people who are friendly, but they're used to competing against each other. And obviously that is something that's there in your mind. So I think it's a job that needs someone, who's really strong and powerful and inspirational and can really take control of things. I just don't see Gareth Southgate as that person. He comes across as a bit quiet, a bit soft. Yeah. Obviously, he's still a manager that demands a lot, but I just don't think there's enough there to take on that challenging job. You mentioned Eddie Howe. I think he could be quite a good manager. I think he's young. People respect him. More relatable given his age. And you talk about what he did at Bournemouth.
He's not different.
On the 21s then.
That's the thing for me. What happened at Bournemouth was a big lack of investment at any point in anything. They weren't willing to accept that they're a bigger club. They'd made such a quick rise from, League 2, League 1, all the way to Premier League. Their stadium was too small. They weren't bringing in enough money. They could have had, twice the size stadium to then get much larger revenues. But I don't think they could afford to build it. I don't know. They didn't invest in players, all these things. And I think, sorry, Evan, I'll come back to you. But I think it just got, it got too samey. Everything was the same. It was too samey. Things became too frequent. Like people got too
Other teams started to figure them out as well. That's why
exactly. And I think everything it just needed to be mixed up a bit.
Yeah.
And I think Eddie Howe unfortunately was part of that package. So I don't think there's a huge amount of blame on him. And I think he should get a shot, either a bigger club. But I personally see him as a good fit for the England job.
You brought up a good point. But a manager that needs to go in there and settle the players down and build that identity around the team. What would be the big difference between Gareth Southgate and Eddie Howe? Do you think any of the players would look at Eddie Howe and say, "Wow, this guy"? They would look it up like he's a god. Not really. He's a Bournemouth manager that did great things, but he's not going to go there and change the mentality. And they're not going to look at him like he's, Jose or something like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but for me, I think you have that at your club level. With the manager like being like this big figure, like Pep.
How old is Eddie
Jose
Howe?
Mourinho.
Anyways, he's
still
like 40
young,
years
early
old.
40s, is he?
Like late 30s. But on that, I think that I made one point in saying that we're blindsided by the fact that Southgate took us to the semis, this, that, the other. But when you're a player playing under a manager, it's all about having confidence in your manager to be able to play under your manager. And a lot of these players who played in the World Cup are going to go, this guy got us to a World Cup semi-final. We back him. We're going to play for him. And if he says he's going to win us the Euros, we put our trust in him, and that's exactly what we're going to do. If we were to bring in, whether it was Eddie Howe or bloody Allegri, who doesn't speak a word of English, if we were to bring in any other manager now and just before the Euros, I think that we're starting from scratch again. I think for the Euros, it has to be Southgate. Do I think we're going to win it? No. Do I want us to win it? Yes. But look, I think we need, and then hang on, we got the World Cup in 2022 as well.
Exactly.
So maybe we sacrifice the Euros and we bring someone new in, which we won't, and we build it up. We use the Euros as sort of a testing ground, and then we build up from there. We won't do that, but I think that's probably the smartest thing to do.
I think Jovan will back me when I say 2022. Watch out for Canada. They're coming.
Hey, we could talk about that for a long time. That's a different episode altogether, and we'll talk about that. But trust me, I'm the type of guy that's the most real about Canada. I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon of Davies and David. I think it's good for Canada for sure, but we'll see. Maybe England versus Canada in Doha, Qatar in 2022.
So what we're gonna do next? This is the bit I've been looking forward to. I cannot lie to you. Okay, so here's what we're going to play. So we obviously have something called the No Name Football Game, which is a game we play with our guests. But we've tried to change it up a bit. We've gone for a very creative name. It's called the No Name Lyrics Game. So we thought a lot about it.
Interesting.
Here's how it works. I'm going to give you 15 different lyrics from songs. Okay. Half of them are false, half of them are true.
Are they football songs?
No, they're songs by real songs with football lyrics.
Got you.
And half of them are true, half of them are exclusively from yours truly at TFF. You just have to tell me true or false. For a bonus point, if you name the song itself and the artist, we'll give you a bonus point.
Nice.
And yeah, so if you get it wrong, TFF gets a point. And obviously you get it right, you get that and a bonus point. And if you win, once we finally at some point in the future make hopefully our merchandise, you will be first on the list.
Fantastic.
If we win, you'll be sending us Formz merch. This is how it's going to work.
Done.
Okay? Wonderful stuff. So there's something to play for. Okay. Let's go for the first one.
Do it.
Okay. So I'm just going to read them out. So I'm not going to give it away. So it could be the way. Okay.
All right.
Look at the size of my fist. I will spark you. I'm the grind scene's Lukaku. Is it true? Or is it made up?
That's true. It's Stormzy.
Can you name the song for a bonus point?
Look at the size of my fist. I'll spark you. Underground scene's Lukaku. 6'5" like Yeah, what about Wiki's Gangman 4.
Oh,
Yes.
quality.
Okay.
Wow.
So that is 2 points to
2-0.
Formz. Okay, good start. Okay. The next one. Here we go. Just like England, you always let me down. Never bring me up. Will we ever win the World Cup? Is it true or is it false?
That's
And if so, who is the artist?
false.
That is correct. That is correct. That's Footy Forum exclusive. And it is 3-0 now. Formz.
3-0.
Okay. Next one. Got charged up and crashed it. Now they playing up front, coming like Marcus Rashford.
See, the annoying thing is, the moment you said crashed it, I knew it was going to be Marcus Rashford. But is that because I'm a lyrical genius, or is that because that's a legitimate song? Please repeat the lyrics.
Got charged up and crashed it. Now they playing up front, coming like Marcus Rashford.
Got charged up, crashed it, got me gassed up, coming like Marcus Rashford.
No, now they're playing up front, coming like Marcus Rashford.
I'm trying to think of the beat. Oh my god! The song's called Marcus Rashford. Young's Teflon.
Yeah, we're gonna give it to you. Okay, that's a bonus point as well. That's 5-0.
Didn't we not think about that we're testing him on something that he does every day? That's shocking. Shocking that we made that decision. 5-0.
Okay,
Absolutely. Domination here.
next one. My man are united like Giggs. I will never leave my young gunners like Thierry.
That's real, and that's Yizzy.
No, so it is real, so we'll give you that. But it is Skepta, English Breakfast.
Oh, okay.
6-0.
Oh, yeah, of course it is. All right, cool. Fair.
Okay. Okay, domination. That's a normal procedure. I'm like Bayern to the Bundesliga.
That's fake.
That's correct.
Oh,
this guy is wiping through them.
Jesus.
Okay. When
7-0.
you arrived on the scene, you were a flop, like Torres when he left the Cop.
That's also Morgan Leisure.
God.
And this is correct. This guy is sensing it. Okay. Next. I rep where I'm from. Shout out Big Mike. I'm never afraid to challenge. Shout out Van Dyke.
Read it again.
And if so, I'll need the artist, if you can guess that. I rep where I'm from. Shout out Big Mike. I'm never afraid to challenge. Shout out Van Dyke.
I'm thinking of 4 different songs, running them through my head that have Van Dyke in it, and I can't. It doesn't fit in any of them. That's also fake.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I thought I had him there. Okay. Okay. This one's got some Spanish in it, so I'll break it down for you. Okay. I come at you con el gancho, which I believe means like a claw, like that.
Just read me the lyrics, dear.
Hace Pancho, moving like I'm Sancho.
And say that again. Maybe put an accent on it.
I come at you con el gancho. Hace Pancho, moving like I'm Sancho.
I don't think you know Spanish, so I'm going to say that's a legitimate song.
We got him! We got him!
9-1. 9-1.
9-1. It's a thrashing.
Yeah. That was
Exactly
smart. That
about
was smart
that.
of you. I remember when we were going over that. Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, apparently it makes Spanish sense.
I'll hold
as
the
well.
L. I'm up 9-1.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Coming like Tottenham
See the
Wigan
girl them
2008.
admire.
Hang on,
I
wait, I
used to-
didn't hear that. Say that again.
See the girl them admire. I used to hold up the line like Puyo. Bet you thought I was going to say Dyer.
AJ Tracy, false 9.
I feel like he got that one because there is a lot of Spurs in there. So
I mean,
we'll give
you
him that
literally
one.
didn't say, you did not say a single Tottenham reference. Used to hold up the line like Puyol, but you thought I was going to say Dyer. Oh, yeah, Dyer. You did say. Yeah.
Thank you.
11-1.
Okay,
But you thought I was going to say Modric.
here we go.
I look at Ostrich.
Me and my bros are like Colo. That's Yaya Toure. Bro just scored another court case.
That's a legitimate lyric. You don't talk about court cases.
I've been to court many times. Thank you very much.
That's
Gucci.
a legit song. Read the lyrics again.
Me and my bros are like Colo. That's Yaya Toure. Bro just scored another court case.
I don't know what song it is, but it's a real song.
It's Recognition, M. Huncho, and I think Unofficial 23.
Why? I don't listen
Good
to
song.
Huncho.
Good song. Okay. Anyway, next one. Okay. Here we go. No, one of them girls were flirting till just pulled up in a Jurgen Klopp BM.
That's the Angry German.
Song.
All right, it's Dave. What's that? Just pulled up in a Jurgen Klopp BM. That's the Angry German. Balls. That's his feature on Peligro by Giggs.
Yes. Well played. Okay. I can't even keep track of the score.
14-1.
14-1. He's doing very well. I thought I'd get you on a couple of these, but I haven't. Cruising through the city in my own lane, staying low from day one, Mr. Harry Kane.
That's going to be Morgan Leisure.
He's good. He's good. Okay. Next one. I want to be the boss of my own yard. I'm in charge now. Call me Lampard.
So you did a Call Me Big Mike earlier, and that was a you lyric because Call Me, that's like a go-to type vibe. I'm going to also say that's false.
He's good. He is good. He is good. Okay. Last one here. Perfect. Here it is. Half heart MC dropper. 45 whapper. Leave you in the States like Kaka. It just doesn't sound the same when you talk it.
You could not have picked any less relatable lyrics to you ever.
I know, I've not really covered this up though. I thought I'd get you with some of mine though, but you just haven't crumbled at all.
Was AJ Tracy, but what bloody song is it?
I thought you.
Oh, come
I thought you
Stop
had this
it.
song locked.
Stop it.
Geez. This is the easiest one out of all of them.
Josh, behave.
Oh, it's Thiago Silva.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my Thank God for that.
Behave. Okay, so before we let you go, Formz, do you want to, as you mentioned a bit about 2021, so I mean, what's coming up for all your fans, your followers? What can they expect from you 2021? I've seen a bit mention of this thing, phase 2. So, I mean, what's coming this year?
2021's huge in terms of releases. It's almost like now I've established myself as an artist. We're getting as much music out there as possible, as many different styles as I'm comfortable with as possible, just to show everyone. I don't stretch too far from one end of the spectrum to the other. I'm very much a rapper. But it's 2021's got a lot of music. I think manager's probably going to kill me for saying this, but the aim is 18 songs next year, all singles.
Wow.
18 singles next year. We're going to have one in Jan, one in Feb, one in March, and then we're going to do like a rapid release and then slow them down again, and then a rapid release towards the end of the year. So 2021, I'm putting in a lot of work. Obviously, I'll keep the TikTok content coming, the Instagram content coming, the YouTube channels set up. Yeah, we're good to go. It's head down for 12 months. And hopefully, if we don't see the results next year, we'll see them in 2022.
Awesome.
Insane.
Well, Formz, we're excited to see what happens, and we will definitely be getting you on again. That's no doubt. You've been very lively, very exciting, a really fun guest to talk to. Obviously, Daniel just wearing into his new shoes here at TFF, getting used to the podcast.
Yeah.
I think you've been great for helping, warm him up as well. And I think Daniel's looks like he's had a good time, I think.
I have.
So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So we'll sign off now. So TFF +1 with Formz today. Thank you, Formz, for coming on.
Thanks,
and, yeah, keep watching, keep streaming. As I said, big plans for 2021. So, keep your eyes peeled. But until next time, thanks, everyone. Take care.
Peace.
Ciao.
Yeah.
See you.